Hello and welcome to Channel Sport on Sunday. I'm Ken Ochonogo. We've waited. It's here. It has started. Africa won 2 games. They lost. And they draw. Highlights. We're taking 2026. 48 teams. 104 matches to be played. 8 gone. 90, we need to go, 96 to go. A lot of updates. Where do you start from? Africa, we started the first day with South Africa, that reverse, in tennis they call it reverse single, that reverse fixture of 2010, but it wasn't the result wasn't the reverse one. It went in favor of the Mexicans. But the reaction of Africans is something else. I don't want to talk about the. I wanted to take some of those tweets, but hilarious. Some of them are heart-wrenching because if you are at the receiving end, I know how you will feel. So basically, we'll just talk about it, how Africa reacted to South Africa's loss, and probably lessons to learn from it or where to go from here. 3 nations, the first time ever it is happening, hosting. Of course, in 4 years' time, it will be the Centurion, the 100th edition. It's 100th edition, the 100 years of the 100 years, because we are just in the 22nd, that will be the 24th. Okay, because we missed 2, actually. We missed 2, because the club in 25, we missed 2. That's why this is the 23rd. This is the 23rd. We missed 1938 and 1942. Of course, no, 38, 42, and 46. There was 30, 34, 38 because of Uruguay, Italy, and then there was that hiatus, caused by the Second World War in 1938 and 1942 and 1946. Of course, the World War ended in 1945. So within the war, there wouldn't have been, a football event going on. It was like the last Olympic Games where. What did they say? COVID took everywhere, and we have to start pushing everything a year after, so that humans, you have to survive first before you think of other, extracurricular activities. So basically, the 100 years will be hosted by 3 other nations. Probably that's going to be the template going forward. I don't know. They decided it's a special one because some matches we played even in South America, even when we're talking about Spain, Portugal, and Morocco as the host nations. So, but we were back to the present. So that we'll talk a lot about the World Cup here. We'll come back to that. The MPFL has ended, but the NWFL, that is the Women's League, the Super 6, will end today. And it is looking like Edo Queens, they have their destiny in their own hands. We talked about that. If you have it in your own hands, something else, will not deter you. Formula 1 is also there because, we have, a resurgent Hamilton. I don't know. He did it. He did it in the last Grand Prix, but here in Barcelona, is up there, just behind Russell, his former teammate, and George Russell, and also the Kid Dynamite, Kimi and Tenole are coming in 3rd. I'm talking about, qualifying. So I was saying the race will be on today, so we'll know who is going to do. There's also some tennis going on somewhere. Raducanu had this special thing. You remember when 2021, herself and Lele Fernandez, went there and played. It was the Cinderella final at the US Open, unseeded. Then she got straight down there, won some about 2.5 million. Before then, she hasn't won up to 400,000. And then today, she's worth over 19 million pounds. But today, she's played in her first Grand Slam, her first grass court final. Because she won the US Open. Before then, she had no title. After then, she had no title. Not even the WTA or 500 or 250 or whatever. She has not won. She just won the big one. Some players who play 20, 30 years of tennis without winning, a Grand Slam. She did that at the US Open. But I think she after so many, she has changed a lot of coaches, a lot of masters, and the rest of them all. But she's coming back to say this is where we are. So we take those and every other story, and we'll also open the lines. Today, we'll talk to you. We'll also have a guest on the show. But let's start before I bring in my guys in. Let us start with the World Cup stories. Let us. It is time. It is 2026. Let's take the World Cup. All right, you're welcome back. we just want to let you know that, yes, it is our 2026 World Cup. So Nigeria might not be there, and Nigeria is not there, but there are Nigerians. God, Folari did it for you. You see, when a Nigerian scores, I don't care which country's banner they are carrying. When you know it's a Nigerian, when the DNA is Nigerian, when the hemoglobin, and that is the blood. I don't know. I hope I'm getting it right because these are medical things. They taught us those things when we were trying to do that. But the Catalan is here. Theo, what happened to England? I didn't know in my intro. I didn't say something.
Okay.
New York Knicks. I would have forgotten that. New York Knicks, they did it. We're talking about Wemby, when somewhere along the line, it tells them to Wemby. Somebody scored 45 points. 45 out of 94, which means the entire other team scored 49. How? What can? And he's the MVP.
A New Yorker was saying his big girl is Jewish, his mayor is Muslim, his Christian is Dior. Knicks in 5.
1973. Low.
Knicks in 5. I saw a tweet of someone yesterday.
Yeah.
Who was like, his wife is in labor.
Yeah.
And he only has one wish, that the Knicks should just win the game. He just wants them to win so that he will name his child Jalen. As for Jalen Brunson. I said that's going to be the story. And you need to see the way New Yorkers were all about.
So what happened? Did I give birth?
Yes, she did.
And that's
baby boy.
And the mother didn't give him the name.
Jalen, that's baby's name.
So the boy got the name before he was born.
Yes,
oh my God.
and these are the kind of things we like to hear. These are the kind of things we like to see. Although my favorite was the San Antonio Spurs for obvious reasons.
Yeah, all about the Wemby,
young team.
And the guy said, we've learned some lessons.
Yes.
We've learned some lessons. I've learned, oh my God.
There was the story of, I'm trying to remember his first name now, I think Connor Bryant or so, in that team. He was recently drafted into the San Antonio Spurs. He basically grew up in a deaf community. So he learned sign language before he learned how to speak. So when he began to play basketball, it's like an escape for him. But it just basically brought a lot of, let me say, awareness to people living with, that disability. And he's been so fantastic for the team. Although coming off the bench, very, very impactful. But a couple of people are saying, probably the coaches of the San Antonio Spurs could have handled them better because they threw away so many points. Especially, I think, in Game 4, where they threw, Game 3, I guess.
Is it 19?
No, they threw away 29 points.
29 points,
They were up by 29 points, but somehow the Knicks came back. But that's how you know a team that wants it more. If you don't make mistakes, you would not learn. And hopefully, the young squad will learn from it. But whether we like it or not, Jalen Brunson also has a story to tell as well. This is a man that felt disrespected left here was coming from and said, you know what, I'll turn down the maximum contract because I want to come and play in New York. He's now dubbed the king of New York. This guy can walk into New York and get it with anything because he has won them a title after so long. The only time they lost was when a certain person went to go and watch the game at the Madison Square Garden. But look at the celebrities, look at the fans. And the tickets were very expensive.
What do you expect?
People were copying tickets for as high as 20,000, 30,000. I'm not talking about seats, by not court-size seats. Court-size were going for as high as $100,000. Ken, it was full. And they are champions and they deserve it.
There's something, why I love Americans, the way they do their teams, is that they are always, when they do this, they say the world champion. When they do basketball, they say the world series. Baseball World Series. This one, anything they want to do, they are the world. You understand? If you take yourself that way and everybody look at you, catch tutu. Why is it always the Americans? You understand? They have a way. Because when they tell you the story, they talk about miracle on ice. They talk about miracle. Everything there is, a kind of a story that is romantically linked to it. You understand?
So one thing they have gotten that the rest of the world is just catching up to right now is marketing. Okay, it's part of the things we talk about our league. If you do not make it, if you don't market it, see, emotions is the fastest way you can catch people. let them be emotionally linked to this. I hear you talk about the Nigerian league as far back as 30 years ago, 40 years ago, and the way you talk about the league, these are emotions from 3-4 decades ago that you still carry till now. If there's nothing linking you to the club, there's nothing linking you to the players. See, Ken, I remember there was this story that was trending then about Giannis Antetokounmpo. He was recently just drafted. He was just drafted to the Bucks at the time. His first paycheck, sent it to his parents down in Greece and whatnot. And he was late for the game. And an old couple saw him and they looked at him like, we know this young man, because he wasn't popular at the time. And they stuck him with his long legs at the back of their car and they drove him to the center. You know, it's a story that they were telling over time. There was a particular fan where he had been writing letters to the club for almost 30 years. And after almost 30 years, they found his farm mails from 30 years ago and they invited him. See, these stories are there. Everybody wants to resonate.
They are not fair weather.
Yes.
You understand one thing?
Yes.
You're talking about community. Sport is community. Community driven.
That's what it is.
It is not, okay, I was a Manchester United. Oh, Arsenal. Oh, you see, your community matters. Go and check when Arsenal won. You go and see how the London, not London. See,
See, I respect Arsenal fans because Arsenal won the league and money entered my pocket.
No! Did I not tell you? Did I not tell that? There is a street in Glasgow where if you are a Rangers fan, or you are even putting on blue, you cannot walk past.
You were lucky now. You almost wore blue to go. You wore blue to watch Celtic play.
So it tells
therefore
you
carry you for Scotland.
No, I have a jacket.
But that's the thing.
That is the thing.
The members of that community wouldn't want to see you putting on something else, especially the jersey or the color of their rivals, Ken. And that's what we are talking about. That's what sports is all about, Ken.
I think I told you.
That.
I said there were 2 young ladies that were walking.
Yes,
they were walking by the street.
Yeah, she told me
and
this.
one, all these their hair. She had their braids and it was blue. You understand? So while we were going, my colleague just said, "Look, do you know where you are passing?" She said, she only just realized it when she got there. You understand? So basically, it tells you that this is what goes on.
Yeah.
So that is basketball. We won't put the lines. You basketball, at least it will be very, very unfair not to talk of that. We'll see who will talk about our guest about going to join us on the show. We'll get him very, very soon. But then let's look at the World Cup stories that are trending now.
Where do you want to start from?
Where do you want to? No. Let's do this. Let's take the results.
Okay.
Because there is a case that has nothing to do with the results, which is a case of England. Their kids, everything stolen. But I heard that they said it's everything. Their beams, their ball, their training, everything. The vehicle at Kansas, the vehicle just break down somewhere, and they stole everything. But then I think they say recovering some of those stolen things, so that the players and then they will not be destabilized. They will be disorientated, go over there and get focused on the assignment that brought them into America.
Can no one World Cup in 1966?
England.
Well, you know what was stolen in 1966 as well?
The cup itself. The cup was stolen.
So English fans are saying now that, well, we've seen this happen in 1966.
And the dog that found it, that dog was honored.
Yes, the dog was honored.
The dog was honored.
Now, 1966, this is 2026.
Yeah.
And the entire English kit and their balls were stolen again.
Yes, 60 years. And they are yet to win it. They've not even reached final.
Is it saying something, Ken?
No, I don't know. I don't just about that. I don't know. But then let us take the results. Probably we'll talk all the games. Let's start from Mexico, South Africa. Let's just take it as if we have them, or the ones that we have, so that we can tell the story of the 2026 World Cup as it is unfolding. While we wait for our guests to join us. All right, Mexico 2-0 South Africa. We said in 2010 it was 1-1. Yeah. And here.
We're together when this game was being played, Ken.
Yes. What the reactions of Africans?
Was it good? No. But was it justified? Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to go into that. He said, was it good? No. They said there is a justification. Probably when we open the lines, you guys can tell us why you believe it is justified. So let's go to the next ones. Okay.
South Korea and Czech Republic.
South Korea came back from a goal down to win it.
Czech Republic playing like Arsenal, sitting back after getting that goal. even though Korea had created so many chances. But the way the Koreans moved the ball around, they were so swift, they were so agile, they were so quick, and for a long period of time in spells in that game, Czech Republic had no answer for them, and the Koreans deserved that victory.
They are workaholics.
But, yes, they are workaholics, Ken. But at this level, you need to convert your chances, and that's what happened in subsequent games. But why am I particular about this one? The Czech Republic discovered that, okay, you know what, they have taller players.
Yeah.
And at the point, they started swinging in crosses, they started throwing the ball, launching it long, trying to just find the man, the man. And a couple of times, it might have worked out for them, but that's when the Korean keeper came to the fore and saved his team, even towards the end of that game. Ken, I think this is one team that we should actually watch.
Canada, host nation.
The Canadians went down by a goal.
Yeah.
I knew they were going to try everything within their power to pull one back. It was a very physical game. And the quality on display, well, maybe not up to what we now saw with subsequent games, but it's Canada and Bosnia. And Canada, I don't think they've ever won an opening game. I'll confirm that. But this was a game that they
didn't. That's their first point.
They did not need. They couldn't afford to lose this game in front of their fans. Did you see the opening ceremony and everything?
Okay, let's go to the next one. USA are the highest ever scored. Because
I think this was my most interesting game so far.
Folari
Balogun, impressive stuff from the Americans. A number of celebrities on display. I think this game was played in Inglewood, California, and the stadium was filled up. Everybody came outside to support the boys. And the last goal was scored by Gio Reyna, Trivela, basically in the last minute of the game. And this is the player that had
the 7th minute.
7 minutes extra time. And this is the player that fell out with the coach last time out, because he was put on the bench by the coach. And the coach and his father were teammates while they were in college, where it became a really, really messy situation. The moment he scored that goal, everybody went to him, giving him hugs and whatnot. Before the game, Donald Trump put a call through to Mauricio Pochettino, because Pochettino, obviously the coach of the United States, talking to them, telling them that he believes in them, he believes that this is a squad that can actually go all the way. And Ken, unlike, I know I might be too forward right now. What I would like to know about the opinion that this is still one of the strongest American teams, in recent time, because almost every single player in this team plays in Europe, play against the big boys, and they were able to show it on the day when they took on Paraguay. It was 3-0 in the first half, and Paraguay pulled one back. And America said, you know what, let's just make it one more. And they made it 4-1 in basically the dying embers of the game. Very impressive stuff from the United States. I'm very sure they want to carry on with this form. At least, let's see if they can win all their group matches.
Qatar, Switzerland.
This was a disaster of a game for me. I was watching this game yesterday, and I was angry.
Why?
I was livid.
Why?
You don't get so many chances.
Yes.
And not bury them. Yes, Ken. Yes, because but when I was like it or not, Qatar Asian champions. And it was clear that they were the underdogs in this one. But they didn't let it phase them. They took everything the Swiss were throwing at them, and they did not stop. They just come on. But the moment they got their opportunity, they capitalized and they proved. See,
you forget who their manager is.
See, Ken, it's not even about their manager now.
No, of course, that is it. It is part of the total package.
I agree 100%. What I'm saying is, Switzerland had the opportunity to have finished this game in the first half.
Of course.
And I didn't see the equalizer. I went upstairs. By the time
it's almost the last kick.
I was of the opinion that the game had ended. So my mind, the game not ended. We're done.
It was almost the last kick.
And I came and I'm like, what just happened? And I saw the header. That was a bullet, Ken.
That thing happened to me when Kanu scored the hat-trick against Chelsea. You understand? Chelsea were leading, I think, 2-1. And it was almost, I don't know what happened. I left. And before I came back, I just said, can you believe this? I thought he has equalized. Only for me to see the score, it was, oh my God.
I saw the scoreline and I was like, okay. All right. And Qatar picked up a point. That is that. You see, they hosted. That hosting was the first time they ever qualified for the World Cup. They qualified via hosting. This one, they went. They've now gone on to win the Asian Championship. And now they qualified.
Even this qualification, they had issues because at a point, FIFA has to say, well, who is going to play who. And then here they were. picking. They scored only 1 goal in their 3 games at when they hosted 4 years ago,
fans, yeah.
and didn't get a single point. But here they are. That is the story. Here they are now. Playing their first, after qualifying and playing that they have collected their first ever World Cup point. And Switzerland,
and Ken, you are talking about your coach,
yes.
Julian Lopetegui. He was supposed to coach Spain in 2018. In fact, he was the coach
of
Spain,
and then they now found out that he
had agreed to join Real Madrid immediately after the World Cup. And 4 days,
48 hours, 2 days
to the start of the World Cup, Julian Lopetegui was fired. And you see, Ken, and I see stories like this and how people are able to turn things around. If some people will let it face them and probably just fizzle under all that pressure.
Yeah.
But the fact that he wasn't
able to went on to coach Madrid and it wasn't successful.
He wasn't successful. it doesn't mean.
What is the pressure? Whatever.
Football is the crow sport.
He went on after he'd been fired from to coach at the World Cup.
Yes.
Here he is now taking Qatar to the World Cup. So what he couldn't do with Spain, he's now doing it. Of course, thank God Spain didn't win that World Cup. They didn't actually do well in the World Cup.
Actually,
that particular
they
one.
did not know.
All right, so that is the stories of so far.
One more game.
Let's see one more game.
Yes.
Where is the last game?
The Brazil of Africa
versus Morocco.
No, the Brazil of Africa versus Brazil.
Okay.
No, that's what Hakimi said.
Yeah.
Then they called them the Brazil of Africa.
But they played Brazil as they were the Brazil.
It now look. Everybody was talking about the opening Morocco's opening game in the 1998 World Cup against Brazil, where they lost by 3-0.
Yes.
And their fans were saying that's history. He said, right now, we are a force to be reckoned with.
Semi-finalists at the World Cup.
That's what Moroccan fans are saying.
Yes.
That we are a force to be reckoned with. Like, if you think Brazil will come here and sweep us over, you are in for a rude awakening. And Ken, that's exactly
what they did.
What happened.
Yes.
And for a midfield that had Bruno Guimaraes, Lucas Paqueta, and Casemiro, an 18-year-old, before I'm trying to remember his name, completely bust them in that midfield. Ken, if not for Vinicius Jr., yesterday.
If not for that moment of magic.
And that is what the Brazilians have almost always relied on. But Ken, one thing, this was the first goal.
Yeah.
This was the first goal. That cheap. The number one rule of defenders, center backs, do not be on the same line. If he beats the first person, it will probably be difficult for him to beat the second person. But Vinicius Jr., do not give him that kind of opportunity because he will bury you. We've seen him do it several times. Ken, I've been speaking to a couple of my guys, and people have been saying the problem with this current group of Brazilian players is that quite a number of them seem to come from the soft life.
Yeah.
They seem to come from the soft life. We're not seeing that joga bonito that we are used to seeing anymore. These guys are not from the favela like the Brazilian players that we have seen in the past that had to fight through different kinds of struggles and problems to make it to the top of what football. I'm not taking anything away from this group of players, but whether we like it or not, we're going to have this very, very hard conversation that the standard of Brazil has come, as we have known it, has come to drop at the biggest stage.
No, it went. They went 24 years from 1970 to 1994 without winning. In fact, the 82 squad was at least one of the greatest teams not to have won.
But now you can be a great squad and not win it. Yeah. But now moving into competitions as of late, nobody expects Brazil to contend. Nobody expects Brazil to perform. And this is not the Brazil that we are used to seeing.
All right, that is Haiti, Scotland.
Haiti, Scotland. I thought I was going to see more goals in this game.
See, let me tell you something about Scotland.
Yeah.
Scotland has the worst history in World Cup. You understand? Before now, Scotland has qualified for 8 World Cups. 8. Without getting out of the group. No other team has done that. The most any team has gone to the World Cup without qualifying. But with this 3 points now, Scotland has a chance of coming out. I think we played some of their, probably we'll take the interviews I had with them in Glasgow, some of the Scottish fans in Glasgow. And probably you see where we were asking them how. Of course, everybody was saying,
look at how passionate she is.
See, you don't understand. This thing is there. She would have traveled
from
Scotland.
Then they buy her.
She would have traveled from Scotland, saved all money, to go to this World Cup.
They will get visas. They'll get visas. They won't turn them back.
No, of course now we won't turn them back. They were. We'll come. That is part of the stories we'll talk about here. We saw talk about Bri Mboli scoring that goal. Mboli was the last Swiss players to
granted access to the US
to enter there, because when they told him, look, you cannot go until we check if whatever it is. So now what we're talking about there. So Scotland now with these 3 points. Why are we saying this here? Now we have 48 teams.
Yes.
And that means they are in 12 groups. Yeah. Automatically the first 2 teams
24 teams are going
qualify.
Through.
That means that gives you 24. But we are trying to get to 32. Yeah. Which means in the other 12 groups. All the teams
that finished
third, we are going to collect 8.
So every point is valuable right now.
I'm telling you, so you'll be surprised that a lot of countries with 3 points.
Not like South Africa that have more red cards than goals.
With 3 points, a lot of countries with 3 points will likely now make it and then move in there. So this 3 points they've garnered, you understand, is a kind of a sure bet to say, look, let us see how we can survive the other teams here in our group, in Group C, and see how we go. And then there is Australia, Turkey. I was surprised with this. I've always rated Turkey. When they go to the World Cup, Turkey were semi-finalists in 2002. Yeah. So basically, you expect them. I don't know what really happened here. Australia, part-timers, we call them, playing part-time football, but where they are at. So this is the World Cup. Expect anything unexpectable. That is just the thing. Let's look at the fixtures today.
We're going to be seeing Germany taking on Curacao, and the Netherlands will be facing Japan. Yeah. I want to see this game. I want to watch this game. And of course, we'll see a team that Africa will probably be supporting this time around.
Cote d'Ivoire. That will be the third African team.
Taking on Ecuador.
Yes. So there will be Cote d'Ivoire taking on Ecuador today. Another team will also be playing. I think Tunisia also, yes. Sweden, Tunisia.
Tunisia, of course. Oh, my God.
Spain, Cape Verde. I don't have African teams.
Yes.
Belgium, Egypt. So it's just African Day.
Belgium, Egypt, yes.
African Day. Belgium, Egypt. Spain, Cape Verde, I don't know how Cape Verde will survive. I think they will go and survive there.
Whatever happens, we are in for a trailer, because Cape Verde they are an excellent footballing nation.
They play exciting football.
Yes, they play exciting football.
There are times that you have to play conservative football depending on who you are playing.
The opponents are coming up
against. Exactly. If they open up against Spain will tear them apart.
Spain, but we also have to look at the fact that Spain's best player will probably not start the game today. Talking about Lamine Yamal.
I'll sit down somewhere now. What are you telling me?
No.
So they need Lamine Yamal to play Cape Verde.
So Ken,
they need Lamine Yamal to, and it's their best.
Ken, like you said, it's the World Cup. I didn't expect that Australia would defeat Turkey. Quite a number of people did not even believe that Morocco would put up a fight against Brazil, let alone dominate.
I told you about England and Brazil. Yes. I said, let us be watching them.
No, that one is still there. When you said it, I don't put that for one part of my pocket. I just kept it somewhere and let us see what will happen. But one thing I know for a fact is that, like you said, the Cape Verdeans they're a very exciting side to watch.
Yes.
And in as much as they're exciting, I know it is not wise to come up against a team that played the way. Obviously, they are Spain and they'll move the ball around very well. But that's why it's the World Cup. These are the kind of things that we like to see. They might come there because they are trying to prove a point. And Spain are without Lamine Yamal, whether we like it or not, he's the most exciting player in that team.
See, I don't hear. But I don't want to ask you this. We saw Neymar. When Vini Junior equalized yesterday.
Player coach.
He's coming back. He will be back probably in the next game. Is he going to make it? Do you think he's going to make it? His presence is going to make a difference?
So Ken, when I heard that Neymar had signed for Santos, I began following him. I began watching him again, and Ken, if I'm being honest, with the intensity I saw in the game between Morocco and Brazil last night, if Neymar was in that game, Neymar would not last 20 minutes. Because
did Morocco do Africa proud?
I think they did. They did. At a point, Fabinho was bleeding. in the game. It was that intense.
The Moroccans were not knocking the ball around.
We were moving the ball around, and when they needed to be physical,
yeah,
they got physical. The same thing with the Brazilians. And Lucas Paqueta, you could see the frustration on the faces of the players, the Brazilian players, because it was not what they had bargained for. I don't know who told them that Morocco was a pushover, but they
no, I don't think anybody told them. They know.
I'm not sure because they were looking dejected.
Okay,
see, it's just hurting me that this Moroccan team could not beat me by 120 minutes.
All right, that is the World Cup. When we open the lines, you have the chance, to air your view. Stay with us. It is Channel Sport on Sunday.
The celebration from John again. I was so used to seeing, but for me this goal was all about shooting. Robertson. Some unfortunate calls and closure. Aim for its new launch, but all right decision. Hickey's kept it alive. Chance for the game. Oh, it's a chance he hasn't taken. Over the bar by an increasingly frustrated Bellegarde. You have to watch what he's saying, having picked up that yellow. Full house in here tonight, crowd of just under 65,000. And so it came to pass. Scotland are back in the World Cup. Scotland have won the World Cup. John McGee's first.
O tiro, ela desvia no Gabriel Magalhães, ele vai para a segunda disputa. Na sequência consegue tirar. Marcos começa para a seleção brasileira sua 23ª participação em Copas do Mundo. Dias para o Hakimi, aí o Unari. A falta em cima do Canus, só que o Bruno Guimarães ficou fora da jogada. Afasta pela defesa brasileira. A bola volta para o Marrocos. Hakimi. Mas eu falei, né? Ele não é de marcar muito contato, não. A força dispara e a bola passa à direita. Outra vez Hakimi. Aí o capitão bicampeão europeu de clubes com o Paris Saint-Germain, Al-Hawi. São 4 minutos do primeiro tempo, 0 para o Brasil. Brahim Dias. Tá, faz o que quer no jogo, mas ninguém aperta em cima dele.
Yeah, okay, you're welcome back. It is the Channel Sport on Sunday. Kenneth Onogo is here. Theophilus Agbonao, the Catalan, is in the house. But I told you we have a guest, an August. Are we in August now?
No, we're not.
Okay. So I would say we have an August guest, but we have the mathematical in the house, the iconic one. The man was, how do I say it? Anything you have to do with Nigerian football, being a player. At a point in time, he said, look, let me get these things together. Captain the Green Eagles then, we are the Green Eagles, the age of Green Eagles. And then there's something, in those initial time when they made the team in Nigeria, going to represent us. I told you something about the 4-3-10 Eagles, and then he said, what is 4-3-10 Eagles? And I laughed, and I said, no problem. Then we saw South Africa going to play Mexico, and then the reactions of Africa, and people are saying, what have you done for us? What have you done for us? But in '76, Nigeria qualified to represent Africa right there at the Olympics, in Montreal. But then on the last minute, the head of state then said Nigeria should pull out because of New Zealand. The New Zealanders were participating, at the Olympics, and then the world has said we don't have anything to do with South Africa. But the New Zealand rugby team went to South Africa to go and play a game, and Africa says no. If you are doing this, we won't go there. They asked the Olympics team to say, ban New Zealand. They said no, because football then is not part of the Olympics. They cannot ban South Africa. So Nigeria pulled out of that Olympics. Nigeria pulled out, not just Nigeria, but after Nigeria pulled out, 27 other African countries pulled out in support of South Africa. Today, some of those who had the consequences of not playing the World Cup. Let me tell you, because maybe when my guest is here now, you will hear from him. I personally do believe that team would have won the first Olympic gold before 1996. We have the honor to have Chief Segun Odegbami with us as our guest. Hello, sir.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Big Sheg. 1976. But before that, we wanted to give us a recap. What really happened in 1976, sir?
Well, I just graduated. I was preparing to go for my National Youth Service when I was summoned. My name was replaced the name of another player who had been registered to participate in the 1976 Olympics. We played in Lagos. I played so well that they just took a picture of mine from the newspaper and sent it across and replaced that guy's name with mine. That's how I became a member of that team. As soon as I finished my exams, preparing for the NYSC, they moved me straight to Europe to join the national team of Nigeria that was preparing to go to the Olympics. And we played a series of matches in Europe at the time, and the results were what you mentioned at the start. The number of goals we scored.
Yeah.
It was just a reflection of the number of goals we scored going to the Olympics. So when we got to the Olympics, we spent a total of 10 days there, and we played 3 games, and we won all 3. And the last one was against a team that eventually got the bronze medal at the Olympics. So if we had, and we beat them by 3-0. If we had participated in the Olympics that year, it is possible that we would have come away with a medal. But beyond that, there were others who were at their prime. And one of them was Charlton Hizwele. He was the best triple jumper in the world at the time. And going to the Olympics, we were certain, Nigeria was certain, that we'll get a gold or a silver medal. And besides him, there are other great athletes, Dele Udo, Bruce Jirigo. We had boxers, Davidson Ande, Obisi Anwakpa, and so on and so forth. So it was a solid team that went. And we spent 10 days. On the eve of the Olympic Games, we had even gone for rehearsals. We were waiting for the following day when the games would start. And suddenly we were all summoned to a meeting where they informed us that the IOC said they are giving us 1 hour to move out of the Olympic Games village. And we're wondering why. That's when they told us the story that you just recounted, that some students were killed in Soweto in South Africa, and people, they were protesting against apartheid and so on and so forth. And the whole world rose in unison to condemn what happened. But Africa took a position that if New Zealand, that was participating with South Africa in a rugby competition, would not be removed from the Olympic Games in solidarity with that fight against apartheid, then Africa would boycott the Olympics. we threatened to boycott. It was led by Julius Nyerere of Tanzania and Olusegun Obasanjo of Nigeria. And between them, they got 27 other countries to agree with them that they would boycott the Olympics if New Zealand were not sent away from the Olympics. Of course, the IOC supported New Zealand, did not send them packing, and instead asked us to move away. So it was devastating for us as athletes that on the eve of our greatest moment in sport, we were asked to leave in solidarity for a cause that is not sport, a cause that is really political. It was apartheid in South Africa. It was injustice against the blacks in South Africa. It was against the killing. It was the jailing of Nelson Mandela. It was the lack of freedom of democracy in South Africa. All of those elements, all political reasons, were why we were now sent packing out of the Olympics. It was painful for us at the time, but it was a sacrifice that we had to make, even though nobody told us to volunteer, but it was a sacrifice we had, and we paid the price. Many of us never recovered from the pain of not participating in those Olympics. Somebody like Chatini Israeli, he didn't get his medal, didn't go to another Olympics, and the opportunities that would have provided him, he lost. So he took to other things, and it affected his life for a very, very long time. Until 3 years ago when Allen Onyema came and helped us to soothe the pain. So if you measure all of that, that by that boycott, Nelson Mandela was released from jail. It accelerated the process of his being released from jail. South Africa got their independence. It accelerated the process. And, apartheid ended in South Africa. That, it was part of it. And we came back to Nigeria. We saw South Africans in American universities and colleges. We were absorbing them into Nigeria. We found out that our civil servants were actually paying the wages of some of the victims, of apartheid in South Africa. That our students in Nigeria actually sacrificed some of their meals to take care of suffering students in South Africa. We did so much in protest against apartheid in South Africa, in supporting the black person in South Africa. If there's anything that South Africa would do, it should never be against Nigeria that did all of that. And it's not just Nigeria. It is Nigeria and several other African countries that gave up, the lives of their young people in support of that country. So we are surprised that at this point in time, they have forgotten. They have forgotten the price some of us had to pay, that our country had to pay, our civil servants had to pay, our students had to pay. So it is just a painful thing, a painful payback for those of us that were directly involved in 1976. That's the story.
Oh, that's the story. Big Sheikh, I don't know. When you recount this, it's like people like us are just feelings because looking back and thinking and looking about the second, you just mentioned charting Israel. You just measure that this man could have won a gold medal for Nigeria. He was the best triple jumper in the world. It was, and then the boxers that were involved, yourself, somebody who just finished secondary school, university, and then you are up there. That we could have. Before 1990, that is 96, which was 20 years later, probably in 76, we could have won, the Olympic gold. But let me ask you this, two things. The reactions of, other African nationals to the loss of South Africa against Mexico, should they have shown some compassion? And then also, the World Cup is on. I know you are pained that for the second time in a row, Nigeria is not going to the World Cup. What are your views on this?
Well, I feel, empathy for the South Africans now. They have seen that the decision some of them took to, repay Africans for the sacrifices that they made many decades ago, the way they are doing now. They have now seen that it is not right. It is not morally right. It is not politically justifiable. It is just wrong. It is just wrong. It doesn't reflect the character of a black person. So it is wrong. So they are getting what they are reaping what they sowed. So yes, I feel sorry for them, but it's just a reflection of how bad a situation they created themselves. So they must find a way to resolve that matter. But then, we were talking of the World Cup and Nigeria not being there. This is a very, very sad situation for us. There's no reason on earth that Nigeria should not be one of 10 countries going to that World Cup. If we had used the endowment that we have naturally, one that is gifted to us by the Creator, two that we have earned on earth by participating the way we have done, three by the physicality, the physiology of our being, we ourselves as blacks, strong, fast, gifted, and so on. Those are things that we should go to the World Cup and demonstrate. As Nigerians, we should be one of the top 1 or 2, not outside the top 10. So there's no reason anybody can justify that. And to say back to back, we are the most successful, country in Africa. When it comes to the totality of football in Africa, when you look at the achievements and so on, we come tops ahead of everybody else. Look at the representation of Nigeria in the World Cup now, the number of countries you find Nigerian players. Look, there's no reason why we shouldn't be in the World Cup. That's the bottom line. But we are not. So it is a sad commentary on the state of our football. And we cannot put the blame at the footsteps of anybody else but the administration that is in charge. We need as a country to look at that place. That's where the whole issue is. We are doing things that are not right, and we keep repeating it, and we are expecting that it's going to be righted. No, it cannot. The government has to take a stand and let us put in place the structures, the organization that will reflect who we are as, within the Committee of Nations of Football in the world. We should not be amongst those that will be onlookers here. Look at what's going on in the country. The World Cup is going on. There's no energy. We can't even watch well. We are not enjoying it, and so on and so forth. No. We should be up there. So the message is clear. Nigerians, the Nigerian government must not allow what brought us to this point to continue. They have to do something, not just allow a few people to be saying it. The government must do something. Set up a body to look at what needs to be done and do it so that we don't continue with the failure procedure that we are now used to, that has become the norm. We must go to the World Cup. It should be our birthright. Like Brazil, it should be our birthright. We should be the Brazil, of Africa. And not just one of them. Where small countries will come. And, look, it's so painful. I really don't know what to say, but it is so painful. As this World Cup is going on, Nigeria is not there. And we are forced to watch 10 other African countries, go there. And not, look, it's painful. But thank you anyway for having me to come and share my lamentation and my sadness with other Nigerians. But we need to do something. We need to do something very, very quickly.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. We appreciate, having you on the show. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's Big Sheg. It's I don't know any other way you want to put it. He said the government has to do something about this. Back to back. We qualified when we had just 3. When they increased to 3, we started qualifying. 6 times we've gone in the last eight World Cups, and then bam, back to back. And probably another back. Somebody saying, when we are going in 2030, we are going to do well. Do well? How? Cape Verde? Yeah? As I say, Kuresa is playing today now, 80. And we we are home.
Yes, it's how a number of us think that we would just magically just fix up ourselves and appear at the next World Cup. Everybody are going to their first World Cup.
Yes.
It seems like Uzbekistan are going to their first World Cup. There's a reason. Ken.
Jordan. J for Jordan. In fact, they're in Group J.
No, Norway are going to their first World Cup since 1998. Ken, there's a reason we are seeing all of these things happening. Some people have decided, that drawing board we always talked about going back to.
The proverbial.
Some people have gone back to your drawing board decades ago. They have fixed up and they are seeing the results.
Okay, we can take 1 or 2 calls if it is possible. I know we're almost at the tail end of the show. But let's rush this. The women. Okay, this is it. Morocco says,
Morocco will no longer, and that is no longer, submit any bids to host African competitions regardless of their nature. If other countries wish to organize them, we wish them the best. That is Fouazi Legja. That is the president of Moroccan Football Federation. So, Ken, my question is this a threat?
He said they are no longer hosting.
No, look at the second. Hold on.
Yes.
Look at the second line.
Yes.
If other countries wish to organize them, we wish them.
Of course, because they've been getting the burden, and he says there is no influence. Also, they were getting influenced by doing this. Put you in Nigeria. Can you host? National Sport Festival, are you hosting it on the structures that you need?
I remember when a sitting president decided that he was going to scrap football in Nigeria at the time, and we started seeing all that talk about you don't interfere in sports, you don't do that. Can't see from this World Cup that is being hosted in the United States, Mexico, and Canada. FIFA is projected to make about $13 billion. The host countries don't really make much, if we are being honest. But from my understanding, even up to the snacks that are sold in the stadium, FIFA gets a cut of everything. You understand? But the beauty of it is, the tourism. The fact that you get to welcome the entire world. Morocco has taken on so much. And I respect,
carry the body for Africa.
And I respect them for this. But whether we like it or not, see, Ken, there was a CAF before Morocco started doing all of this. There will be a CAF afterwards. And
no, there is no pardoning anything. This is the opportunity for us to say, let us put our infrastructure in place.
It's a challenge.
Nigeria has, we don't even need to build stadiums in Nigeria.
Yes, we have stadiums.
We have stadiums littered everywhere in Nigeria. Why a state government will have a stadium and they cannot fix it? They cannot fix it. One, we're not talking about counties. We're not talking about local governments.
Ken, the Olympic Stadium in England, where West Ham used, it's not West Ham's original stadium.
Of course.
The original stadium is Upton Park that they moved to.
Sports.
Do you understand? But these stadiums were built or were put in shape because of the London Olympics.
The outdoor at NCAA. All right. Of course, everybody is talking about Kain Shola, doing so well. And then, I mean, the guy ran, if I ran 9.72. 9.72 to win the gold there. So look at them 4 gold medals, 2 silver, I think and the bronze, a silver and a bronze, by our team at the NCAA outdoor. We have never had it this good. And then there's somebody said in the athletics, somebody said about the athletics. He said, Kain Shola is representing Nigeria now. That if Nike comes, I'm using this word, but if one of those sponsors come for him, that he will represent America. I'm telling you, I will show you.
But then again, I was going to ask, how many of these athletes are based in Nigeria?
No, of course.
How many of them train in Nigeria?
So what are the facilities? But it has always been that. The colleges. But we have how many universities? We have state university, public, private university, federal universities, littered everywhere. But what are they doing? How much are you channeling towards their sponsorship?
So it still goes back to what Big Sheikh just talked about.
Yes.
Nigeria's decay in football did not start once. It was systemic. It took time. It took a while. And we are where we are right now because some people that have been running this thing believe that, they were basically
the funding, where are they putting the money? Because Channels was here running. If I tell you how much this organization spent to sponsor Channels Kids Cup, to Channel Athletic Classics, if you know how much, if you know the burden coming from one man's pocket, and then the money for the state is somewhere.
Okay.
It's somewhere.
Okay.
You cannot fix the stadium. You cannot put. You go to the schools board. You cannot have infrastructure. They cannot have even common shoes to run.
Yes.
You don't have it.
And you expect
to excel.
You're expecting magic to happen.
Then they go to America, you tell them whatever, you start whatever, and then somebody comes here. If you
and the moment an athlete decides to switch, somebody comes out and says, because of the money.
Because of the money. No, but you are the. All right, well, I mean, sorry, like I said, the Super 6 will be taking place today. We have given you that. It is Edo Queens, Bayelsa up there. So whoever, they are meeting themselves. So between Nasarawa United is taking on, Nasarawa Amazon, they are taking on Rivers Angels. Yeah. So basically, Edo Queens is just to lose. And then that is the thing. So that we're playing today. Bayelsa Queens taking on Edo Queens. And then Rivers Angels taking on Nasarawa. So if Edo Queen need a draw to win, to win this. Yeah. And then, like we said, okay, we are going. We don't have much time again.
Okay, no, but we're not magicians. If we don't fix up, we will not be watching the World Cup on TV. Okay, we won't go there.
We just have to you just have to put your house in order, and then you must start from the basics. Start from the basic. Start from the basic. That is what it is. Put those little things in place, and then you can build a superstructure. Until we come back on Sunday, I'm Ken Ochonogo. God bless Nigeria.